This video is meant as a quick little intro or refresher into biomes. So what is a biome? A biome is a large area of Earth containing the same type of climate. Climate, remember, is how you define an area that has the same temperature and precipitation on average throughout the entire year. When we look at the levels of organization, the largest level of organization is always going to be Earth. It's going to be the biosphere. Right before that comes biomes. So these are areas that have a very similar temperature and precipitation and biotic and abiotic factors all living there, working together in the same area. Earth is actually split up into about 6 biomes. We're going to just focus on a few of them here because again, this is going to be just a quick intro refresher video. The first biome we're going to look at is the tundra. You can tell from the picture I'm talking about an area that has lots of ice. It is going to be very cold, so below freezing for most of the year, and it actually receives very little precipitation. So the amount of actual rainfall is going to be very low, which is kind of weird because you think of ice and you think of water, but the amount of rain that actually comes down from the sky is going to be very small. What you're looking at here on this graph is actually a couple pieces of information. The first piece of information that we see on this graph is actually temperature, and then the second piece of information is precipitation, so the rainfall. So let's go ahead and look at precipitation first. How much rainfall does this place receive throughout the year? I'm going to look at where it's the highest. So the month of August, the month of August right here is the highest, and so that's probably around 5 to 10 millimeters of water rainfall per year. That is a very small amount. The average temperature, so in red, I'm going to go ahead and draw that. The lowest is close to or between -20 to -30 degrees. That is very, very cold. And then the highs are only going to be around 10 degrees Celsius. So it doesn't get very warm. It is very, very cold throughout the entire year. The next one is grasslands. Grasslands are actually divided into 2 biomes, but we're going to cover them very generally as one. You can tell from the picture we're looking at an environment that is very, very flat. It is very open, it is sunny, and is very, very windy because it is so open. They receive light seasonal rain, and it is very, very hot in the summer, very cold in the winter. So again, let's go ahead and look at that graph. We're going to start with the precipitation again. So looking at the highest months, so May, June, July, those are the highest. The max it gets is close to 100 millimeters, so more than tundra, but still not a lot of rain. For the temperature, the low temperature would be below freezing, but the high temperature would probably get close to 20-25 degrees Celsius. So very, very hot, very, very cold. It's got both extremes. The next one is desert. We know about the desert. It is extremely sunny. The plants and living organisms that live there have to, like the plants and the animals, have to survive in this extremely hot, sunny environment. It receives very little rainfall. The nights are cold, but the days are extremely hot. So let's go ahead and look at that graph and see how high it gets. So let's start with temperature. The highs and the lows. So the lows would be close to 10 degrees Celsius, so very cold, getting close to freezing. But the highs are close to 30 degrees Celsius, so extremely hot there. The amount of rainfall that it receives, so the month of July, August, that's the highest amount of rainfall, and that's under 100 millimeters, so close to 50 millimeters probably, I would say. The last one is tropical rainforest. Obviously, from the name, we're talking about a location that receives a lot of rainfall. It is hot, it is humid year-round. These are located near the equator, and so because they're in that area, they do receive a lot of sunlight, a lot of water, which is great for the amount of plants. So you'll see that this is the most biodiverse location on Earth. Bio meaning life, diverse meaning variety. So it has a lot of variety of living organisms simply because it receives that rainfall and because it does have the sun so they can do photosynthesis. Because of the amount of rain, though, the soil is extremely thin, and so we'll talk about some adaptations that the plants have to account for that. Let's go ahead and look at the graph. Let's start with precipitation again. So looking at the highest amount, so probably around March, April, that could get up to 300 millimeters of rain. The temperature is very consistent. It's almost a straight line going across close to 30 degrees Celsius for the entire year. And so because of that warmth and because of the amount of rain, we'll talk about the variety of life that exists there.